All right, so you're craving a whiskey with a real story, something more than just a fancy label. Well, get ready to dive into Oban with us.
Yeah, because this distillery, it's practically part of the Scottish coastline.
I'm talking centuries of history, a location that's wild as it
And the
gets.
taste. Oh, it just captures it all.
What's really got me intrigued is that Oban, it's built right on the harbor of this small town.
Right. It's nestled between these cliffs and the sea. Just incredible.
So, are you saying the location, this whole harbor town vibe, it impacts how the whiskey actually tastes?
Absolutely, yeah. Oban is kind of like this bridge,
Like a
right?
ridge.
Yeah, between Highland and Island whiskeys. And that's not just a marketing thing either. We're talking about a really tough balance to strike.
Okay, I'm biting. Tell me more about this balancing act.
So you've got your Highland whiskeys, known for those rich, fruity flavors.
Like a warm apple pie?
Yeah, think more like a whole orchard, like on a warm, sunny day, just that bright fruitiness.
Hmm.
Then you've got your island whiskeys. Totally different story.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the island whiskey vibe?
Peat smoke,
Yeah.
definitely. And those maritime notes.
Oh.
Like a wave of flavor that throws you right onto the coast.
Is that what Oban does? Blends those two extremes?
You got it. It walks this line between Highland and Island, and that's a huge part of its appeal.
It does sound pretty irresistible, but how does a distillery even pull that off?
Well, it's all about that location. Oban's been in the exact same spot since 1794.
Hold on. 1794, that's what, older than America?
Older than America? Can you believe it?
Yeah.
And over the centuries, think about it. The sea air, the humidity, the plants even.
It all just seeps right into the whiskey?
Exactly. It's like this imprint of the environment built right into the flavor.
That's wild. So it's practically a historical landmark at this point. But are we talking about a distillery stuck in its ways, or are they innovating too?
Oh, they've definitely kept those traditional methods, which, by the way, is a huge part of what people love about Oban. They haven't sold out.
Uh-huh.
It's still relatively small, especially compared to some of the bigger names out there. But that doesn't mean they're not innovative. They find ways to play within that tradition, which I think you'll really appreciate when we start digging into the tasting notes.
Okay, you've got my attention. Let's talk about those tasting notes. All right, lay it on me. What's the first stop on this Oban tasting adventure?
Okay, so we're going to start things off with Oban Little Bay.
Little Bay. Okay.
This is kind of the perfect introduction to what makes Oban, well, Oban.
I like it. It's approachable, right? Not too intimidating.
Exactly. It's like Oban is reaching out, giving you a warm welcome. What are you getting on the nose?
Okay. I'm getting this bright citrus, almost like a lemon bar, but then there's this like vanilla honey kind of thing going on.
You got it spot on.
Yeah.
And is there maybe a touch of spice? A bit of oak?
Oh, yeah. Now that you mention it, definitely getting some spice, maybe a hint of oak. It's all really well balanced, though. Nothing too overpowering.
Exactly. That's what makes Little Bay so great. You get those classic Highland foods, but it's not overly peaty or smoky.
Like that perfect summer cocktail, but, with more sophistication.
I'd say so. Little Bay is definitely Oban at its most approachable.
All right, so we've been welcomed to the world of Oban. What's next?
So no Oban journey would be complete without trying the 14-year-old. It's their flagship, and for good reason.
Okay, the 14-year-old. Yeah, I've heard good things. What makes this one so iconic?
You ready for this?
Hit me.
Okay, so imagine you've got sun-dried fruits, like raisins, maybe some figs. Then you get this little burst of citrus zest. And then
Fun.
just the faintest hint of sea air.
Whoa. Okay, now that's pretty poetic.
Oh, but we're not even done. That's just the nose. On the palate, you're going to get this wave of smooth caramel and honey, and then just a touch, just the lightest touch of peat smoke on the finish.
Okay, you weren't kidding about this one. It's like the flavors are telling a story, but it's got to be the age, right? Those 14 years.
Yeah, those years spent maturing in oak casks, that's crucial. It's how the whiskey develops those layers, soaks up all those nuances from the environment.
Man, I am convinced. I'm adding this one to my list right now. But we're not done yet, are we? There's still one more Oban experience we need to have.
All right, get ready to have your mind blown. This is the Oban Distillers Edition.
Okay, Distiller's Edition. That sounds serious.
It's where things get really interesting, especially if you enjoy a little indulgence.
Oh, I do love a little indulgence. So what's the story with this one?
Remember how we talked about finishing in sherry casks?
Yeah. It's like taking the flavor to another level, right?
Exactly. This one, it's like they took the classic Oban spirit and gave it this luxurious spa treatment in these hand-selected sherry casks.
Sherry casks. Fancy. So what does that actually taste like?
All right, picture this. All those dried fruits we talked about in the 14-year-old, but amped up.
Amped up.
Yeah, like turn up to 11. It's almost jammy, with these rich notes of roasted nuts and dark chocolate, and the finish. Oh man, the finish lingers on forever. Just this warmth that spreads through you.
You're making me hungry. This sounds incredible. It's like the 14-year-old put on a tuxedo.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's definitely a special occasion whiskey.
All right, so we've gone from Little Bay all the way to the Distiller's Edition. Color me impressed.
It's quite a journey, isn't it?
It is. But, there are a lot of whiskeys out there. What makes Oban stand out? Like, for someone hearing all this for the first time, why should they care about this one?
It's that coastal connection, that little whisper of the sea. That's what gets me. You just don't find that in your typical Highland whiskey.
It's definitely unique.
And the way they've stuck to their guns, staying small batch, using those traditional methods, it all adds up.
You said it earlier, it's like a taste of history in every bottle. Do you really think that comes through in the flavor?
Absolutely, yeah. You've got these old stone walls, the distillery, the sea air blowing through for, over 200 years. It all gets absorbed. The wood, the casks. It's wild.
I thought I knew a thing or two about whiskey before this, but now I'm realizing there's this whole other dimension to it, like a secret language or something.
That's the beauty of it, though, right? It never ends. You try a different expression, a different year, even just a different mood you're in.
It changes the whole experience.
Exactly. It's about finding those nuances, the subtle differences.
So it's not just about finding your favorite Oban, it's about appreciating all the different sides of it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Who knows? Maybe this will inspire you to try some other whiskeys with unique stories, different environments. There's a whole world out there, right?
That's what I love about these deep dives. Always something new to explore. So to everyone listening, if you're looking for a whiskey with a story, a taste of that rugged Scottish coast, something truly special, you gotta check out Oban. It's more than just a drink, it's an experience. Cheers to that.